Citi Field, the home of the Indians, and interleague baseball continues. We say hi from Cleveland. Cleveland rocks, you know. It's the first of a two-game series. Oh, yeah, little Brewers fans, he's all fired up. First ball game here, watching the Brew Crew on the road. Hi, everybody. We welcome you from Cleveland. Great to have you with us alongside Bill Schroeder. I'm Brian Anderson. Telly Hughes is our reporter here tonight. Well, the Brewers dropping their last two games in Washington, D.C. They lost that series 2 out of 3. So now they turn the tables, try to get back to winning ways against the Indians. And a guy we've got our eye on tonight is the left-handed hitter, the little second baseman, Scooter Gennett. And Rock, he's really starting to swing the bat well, getting some stakes in the ground again.
Well, he's playing right now, hitting and defense like he did last year. And he's now the player again that the Brewers thought they had going into the season. I thought early in the year he was playing against left-handers. I think the pressure of being an everyday player got to him. Tried to, change some bad habits, and you can't do that really well at the big league level. But went down to the minor leagues, hit around 300, and right now he's swinging the bat well. Since he's been called up, he's hitting around 300, really having a good, solid second half for the Milwaukee Brewers. So certainly Scooter Gennett is the second baseman you can see going forward for Milwaukee.
They see his splits this year, and those early struggles and that trip down to the minor leagues occurred prior to the All-Star break. But since the All-Star break, when he's starting to get a little more playing time, a little better role for him, he's actually swinging the bat very well, back to where he expects to be, around 300 batting average. Willie Peralta, it's his turn tonight against the Indians. Telly Hughes will have more on the Brewers right-hander right after this.
Against the Indians, Willie Peralta gets the call and will make a bid at a third consecutive win. Welcome back to Progressive Field. I'm Telly Hughes. Willie Peralta picked up his fourth win of the season, his last time out, but by no means was it pretty. Peralta surrendered 6 earned runs in 5 innings of work against Miami, but yet and still, he caught a break and got the win. Consistency has been a challenge for Peralta since returning from the disabled list, and Craig Counsell thinks if he's able to rediscover that dominant sinker, it will definitely get him back on track.
He's the kind of pitcher that he can bully hitters with that sinker, and it's a pitch where you can know it's coming, and it still ends up being a ground ball. And that's his strength. That's what he's good at. And I think every time he takes the mound, it's a pitch that he needs to establish and needs to know that he can go to that pitch at any time.
The Crew will conclude interleague play this season in Cleveland, and they'll look to collect a win over the Indians. BA and Rock are back after the break with the first pitch and call next on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. By Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. And by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers. It's Miller time. It's time for baseball in Cleveland, Ohio. It is 66 degrees. It feels like October baseball here in Cleveland. And while these two teams don't have a pennant race to focus on, they are trying to get some pieces put together for next season. Craig Counsell and the Brew Crew in Cleveland. Interleague baseball. First time we've been here since 2009. Take a look at the Brewers batting order. Shane Peterson leads off, then Jonathan Lucroy. Ryan Braun will be the designated hitter today. Adam Lynn, Chris Davis, Scooter Gennett in the middle, with Santana getting the start in right field. Gene Segura at shortstop, and Elian Herrera rounds out the lineup and will play short. And there is Josh Tomlin, just his third start of the season, coming off a very good start his last time out.
Yeah, 7 innings, 2 hits in a win against the Yankees. He gave up only 1 run. It was an Alex Rodriguez solo shot he allowed. Coming off shoulder surgery, he was rehabbing down in the minor leagues. Mentioned third start. He's been pretty good in his first 2 starts, allowing only 3 runs in 13 and a third innings. Made his first start of the year on August 15th. Let's check out the Indians Menards defense. Yeah, about middle of the pack in the American League in defense. Brantley, Almonte, and Chisenhall in the outfield. You got Urshela, Lindor, Ramirez, and Santana from third to first, and Yan Gomes, the catcher, behind home plate.
Now Cleveland, managed by Terry Francona, former World Series winning manager with the Boston Red Sox. They come in with a record of 58-66. Brewers at 53-72. Tito Francona, when we last saw the Cleveland Indians after a split of that series, they returned home. They lost 6 straight games, and that virtually took them out of the race. First pitch is in there for a strike. Away we go from Progressive Field. Very cool night. Got the jackets on all over the ballpark. Little breeze blowing and some threatening skies up above. A lot of Brewers fans here as well. Good to have them on the road. Brewers dropped 2 out of 3 against the Nationals. And the first of 2 games here against Cleveland as Peterson rolls one to short. Terrific young shortstop Francisco Lindor makes a play for out number 1. And that's how the night begins for Josh Tomlin.
Yeah, Tomlin, 6th year with the Indians. His best season came back in 2011. A 12-7 record and a .425 earned run average. He was able to make 26 starts that year. A control pitcher, doesn't throw hard, but when he's right, he gets a lot of ground ball outs. You know, sinker, cutter, curveball, and changeup for Josh Tomlin.
Facing Jonathan Lucroy with 1 out here in the first. Lucroy back in his customary 2 spot in the batting order. Takes a first pitch ball. Lucroy, .241 coming in, has 5 homers, 29 runs batted in. That 5th home run came against Jordan Zimmerman and the Washington Nationals on Sunday.
Yeah, that came in the first inning, gave the Brewers a 2-0 lead in that game. That was just about all they can muster in a 9-4 loss.
Lucroy with 5 hits in that series, and there's a wave and a miss at a breaking ball. And it goes to a ball and 2 strikes. Wonder how Counsell is going to use the designated hitter in this series. He's getting Braun a day off from defense today. Also allows Domingo Santana a start in right field. So he keeps Santana and Peterson in the lineup together. 2 guys that Counsell wants to see and the Brewers organization want to see. And I would imagine Lucroy might be a DH candidate tomorrow.
They can pretty much throw anybody in there with all the off days the Brewers have had recently. 2 off days in the last 5 days, and got another couple coming up.
Lucroy sends one deep to left. There it goes. A bomb out of here. Jonathan Lucroy with home run number 6 on a 2-strike pitch, and the Brewers strike first here tonight. It's a 2nd consecutive first inning home run for Jonathan Lucroy. Did it against Zimmerman on Sunday.
Man, really getting the bad head out of that breaking pitch. Look at another cutter. Same pitch that he swung through the pitch before. And check it out. Yep, there's a cutter down the middle, and Lucroy knows as soon as he hit it. That's way back out there in left field.
Well, that one had the sound, didn't it? Right off the sweet spot. Lucroy starting to get the power bat going a little bit. Now 6 home runs, 30 runs batted in. It's been a down season for Lucroy, but you know he'd love a good finish here as Braun swings and fouls the first pitch away.
Yeah, just trying to get that batting average up to respectability, or at least what Lucroy would like to get it to. Over 250, around 260 would be a goal at this point. Catching just about every day.
One away for Braun. We'll see how he handles the designated hitter role tonight. He's done it before, plenty of times, and has swung the bat well as the designated hitter. Did so against the Twins earlier this year. Braun can hit whenever, and he rips that one into center field. So another hard hit ball. Back-to-back hits for the Brewers. Braun's single follows a Lucroy homer.
Fastball out over the plate. He very rarely does Tomlin get it over 90 miles an hour. He's got to be able to get good sink on it, find the corners. That last fastball up out over the plate, and Brawny hits it hard into center field.
And that'll bring up Adam Lind. Lind very familiar with this ballpark all those years in Toronto, making a trip a year here to Cleveland. Been a long road back for Josh Tomlin. And you could see by his move, he does have a very good move. He fields his position well. Most pitchers that arrive in the big leagues who are control pitchers, sinker ball pitchers who are usually in a good position to field their position. They know they have to keep runners on, and they try to keep themselves in the best opportunity at a double play. So they typically have good moves, and I know the Brewers want to try to run a little bit. Maybe tough tonight with Tomlin on the mound.
And Gomes behind home plate, 32% thrower back behind home plate. That's pretty good.
Braun just 2 stolen bases away from 20 on the season as Lynn takes a ball. 2-0 the count on Adam. 17 home runs this season for Lynn. He has 67 driven in, and right now has the highest batting average among those who have played most of the season, most of the regulars. Lynn comes in batting .284.
They've been very consistent all season long, and looks like Tomlin concerned about Braun over at first base, which he should be.
Cue shot foul. Now the Indians going off that longtime Toronto scouting report for Adam Lind and playing the shift. Francona has 3 infielders on the right side. Francona's not a guy that employs a whole lot of shifts. He'd be on the lesser of the major league teams that do it, but Lind, for him at least, is an automatic. Most of Lind's ground balls are on the ground to the right side.
Yeah, you position your defense in the infield where a hitter normally hits the ball hard. You can't really defend a cue shot like the one he just swung at.
2 balls and a strike on Lind. Got Braun at first. A run is in on a Lucroy homer. And Lind pulls it foul. Look out in the seats. Good catch. Must be a Brewers fan up there. This ballpark still looks great. Progressive field. It's been open. It was one of the first to open up and have this real, it's got a nostalgic look to it. You know, Camden Yards was the first of this group, but Progressive Field's always been a beautiful venue. Downtown Cleveland. They had sellouts here for years, back in the late 90s, back in the Davey Nelson era when he was coaching here.
Yeah, they had some really good teams. You know, Albert Bell, you had the Alomar brothers.
Lynn fouls another one back.
They made a few changes to Progressive Field since the last time the Brewers were here. Right field's different up there in the upper decks, and the bullpens have been redone.
They've stacked those bullpens out in right center field. You can see the relievers getting loose. The visiting team, of course, closest to the fans there. And they pretty much, when it's a big crowd, they get yelled at most of the game. Every guy goes on that mound to loosen up.
Yeah.
Especially things are running hot here and they get decent crowds. I was here 2 years ago, did a playoff game here, and this place was jumping. Indians, Tampa Bay Rays in the wild card game.
Yeah, the most rowdy bullpen I ever experienced was in Fenway Park. I mean, you were literally in and amongst the fans out there in the right field bullpen. But yeah, things seem to be pretty tranquil out there right now.
There's even a lot of Brewers fans out there watching their favorite team. There's a little shelter for the relievers underneath. But that's all by design. You don't want those guys getting comfortable out there. Lynn seeing a lot of pitches here in this first time up. Another check on Braun. Adam, 6 hits in his last 4 games. Going back to the last game against the Miami Marlins on the homestand. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count. And Lynn takes ball 3.
You can see Tomlin, he's not a guy that's going to overpower you. He's got to find the corners. That last cutter, tried to backdoor it on the outside corner, missed.
He is 30 years of age. This is his first career appearance versus Milwaukee. Braun takes off. Lynn hits one hard into left center. But under it is Bradley, and he'll make the catch for the out. And that'll be out number 2.
He just missed another off-speed pitch by Tomlin, and then just a little bit out in front. Man, wind blowing out pretty strong out the right field tonight. Get one up in the jet stream, you might get some help.
You could really feel it down on the field for batting practice today. Pretty intimate setting here. There's not a whole lot of foul territory, and the wind's blowing out towards right. So this is going to play as a hitter's ballpark, even with the cooler temperatures tonight. Here's Chris Davis. He has found the home run stroke here lately. What a month of August he has had. Davis on Sunday, late in the game, that was in the 8th inning. And that was home run number 16 for Chris Davis.
And in this stretch of games where he's been swinging the bat well, he's getting some mileage out of these home runs. You're not talking about a lot of fence scrapers. They have been hit pretty well. Dialed in at the plate.
Great month of August for Davis. His overall numbers: 16 homers, 44 runs batted in, hitting for a .241 batting average. But in the month of August, he has 9 home runs and 22 runs batted in. Oh. Check it out. Bill Schroeder had a big month of August back in 1984.
How about that? Look at that batting average. You kidding me? 352. Come on.
You're kind of looking over your shoulder there a little bit in that image.
Yeah.
Just bad habit, huh?
I know when that was taken. I was walking to home plate in the 8th inning, and I was waiting for Treblehorn to call me back. Pinch hitter. Get Surhoff up.
So when they ask you to pose for the card in your most natural pose,
right,
what feels most comfortable?
Looking over my shoulder. Actually, BJ wasn't there. That was that was 84.
That's a good one. And a little tapper back to the mound. Tomlin will make the play. That will end the inning. But the Brewers strike first. Jonathan Lucroy with a home run, a 2-strike home run into the bleachers in left field. And the Brewers up 1-0. Indians coming to bat against Willie Peralta. Tuesday night. There's Terry Francona. His dad played for the Indians. Francona was running around in an Indians uniform as a bat boy, not even officially a bat boy, hanging out in the clubhouse as a little kid. Now he's the manager here, third season as the skipper. Took the Indians to the postseason in his first year. His lineup, he's got his DH leading off Kipnis, Francisco Lindor, then Michael Brantley. Middle of the order is Santana, Chisenhall, and Gomes, with Almonte, Urshela, and Jose Ramirez rounding out the starting nine for Tito Francona. And on the mound tonight for the Brewers, hard-throwing right-hander Willie Peralta.
He's got to get his mechanics in order. Rough time out, but he got a win last time out against Miami. 5 innings, 6 runs, but the Brewers won the game 8-7. He's won his last 2. He's 3-2 in 5 starts since his return from the DL.
Kipnis has been one of the best players in the big leagues, one of the best hitters for average in the big leagues this year. He is tied for the American League lead in batting average, coming in batting .320. And interesting to note, he is tied with Prince Fielder in that category. Prince is having a terrific season for the Rangers, and the Rangers are in the wild card picture right now. Kipnis and Michael Brantley are the two that Rock pointed out in our pregame show to try to avoid in base runner situations, or base runners on situations. And that ball's hit well. That's going to be over the head of Peterson, off the wall. Kipnis just keeps on going here. That's a leadoff double in the first inning.
Talking about the batting average tied with the American League lead. He's got 33 doubles now. That's now tied for third with doubles, so not just a singles hitter. Getting an opportunity to be the designated hitter tonight. And a good start to the night for the Indians offense. This guy has been hot all season long. Multi-hit games, hits, you name it. He has been one of the best all season.
So Kipnis is aboard for Francisco Lindor. Switch hitting shortstop, young talent out of the Indian system. And there's a lot of hope with this kid. Drops a bunt down. This is going to be a good one. Barehanded by Herrera. And the throw is in time. Excellent play by Elian Herrera.
Yeah, that's a nice play by Herrera. He makes that play very well. That was a tremendous bunt. It's probably going to get out as a sacrifice. Squared around early, dropped it down to third baseline. And had it not been a nice play by Elian Herrera, it would have been a base hit. Got him by a step.
And that will be a sacrifice bunt, scored officially to get Kipnis over to third base. So a good defensive play early in this game. One out for Michael Brantley. And this is the kind of spot you're trying to avoid with Brantley at the plate. Brantley, a former Brewer minor leaguer. He was the player to be named later in the CC Sabathia deal. And he has emerged as an all-star performer for the Cleveland Indians. Been a great player for him. The best of the bunch of the 4 that were traded to Cleveland. I think at the time the Indians were hoping that Matt Laporta was going to be their first baseman for a decade. But Brantley ends up as the headliner. He gets the headshot next to CC Sabathia in that deal back in 2008, early July of 2008. Certainly changed the Brewers' arc when CC arrived in Milwaukee.
Yeah, the Brewers will make that deal over and over again. Have no regrets over that deal. Got him to the playoffs in 08. Brantley awfully difficult to strike out. He's only struck out 42 times. And he's walked 51 times this year. And red hot in August. They got 2 players in the month of August that have been swinging the bats. Almost a 400 batting average.
Three balls, no strikes on Brantley. And Peralta deals strike 1. You know, Matt Laporta, if you're wondering where he is now, he last surfaced last year in the Mexican League. He He was with the Indians through the 2013 season. It just didn't work in the big leagues and ended up going back to the minor leagues. He spent about 5 or 6 years in AAA, and that's a first rounder that just didn't make it. So a bit of a bust for the Indians in that trade, but Bradley has emerged as an all-star, finished 3rd in the MVP voting last year, so there is a little bit of a salvation there with Bradley. The other 3 players, though, none of them are in the organization anymore.
It was a good trade for both teams. The Brewers needed immediate gratification with CC, and Indians were building for the future. They got a good one.
He certainly couldn't trade Michael Brantley for CC Sabathia straight up right now.
Not now. CC hurt.
CC's out with a knee injury. So 1st and 3rd. And the regular characters, Kipnis and Brantley. Runners at the corners for Santana. Switch hitting first baseman now, former catcher Carlos Santana. Don't see him much anywhere else but first base these days. Maybe a little DH.
There's another guy that has a pretty good eye at the plate. He leads the American League in walks. 81 walks coming into play tonight.
Santana has grounded into 17 double plays this year. That leads the Indians. That is exactly what Peralta is looking for in a spot like this.
He's got to get that power sinker working for him. That's a pitch he didn't really have to go to last time out against Miami.
That ball is hammered into right field. That is going to be off the wall. Kipnis comes in to score. Santana's throw is cut off. And Carlos Santana with an RBI double. All tied at 1 as the Indians first baseman delivers an RBI in the first.
A couple of very hard hit balls to start the night for Willie Peralta. That pitch away from Santana, but able to hook it out there in the right field. One hops the wall, and a pretty good throw in by Domingo Santana. I think Segura wanted that ball to go through, and Scooter Gennett cut it off.
22 doubles for Carlos Santana to go along with his 15 homers. And here is Lonnie Chisenhall, who we just showed you, one of the hotter hitters in all of baseball in the month of August. He comes in overall batting .255. He's done a lot of that work in the month of August. He was actually sent back to AAA earlier this year, back in June.
Just all part of the inconsistency with this Cleveland Indians offense. Guys that have the ability but have not been able to do it throughout the year, except for the 2 guys we talked about.
1 ball, 1 strike, 2nd and 3rd, and Chisenhall takes low.
Willie Peralta is going to be facing a lot of left-handed hitters. There's 3 lefties and 4 switch hitters in the Indians lineup tonight.
Chisenhall spent about 7 weeks down in AAA. They traded Brandon Moss to the Cardinals. That opened the door for Chisenhall. He came back, and since he's come back, and that's all been in the month of August, he's got great numbers. .397 batting average. His OPS is over 1,000 in this stretch. Both of these teams are trying to figure out who's going to be a part of their big league club next year. And these are important at-bats, important weeks for players like Chisenhall. We talked about Scooter Gennett in our open today. A very similar situation. At a starting position, sent back down to the minor leagues after significant struggles, then has come back and he's swung the bat well.
Just like the Brewers, the Indians made some trades at the deadline that opened up some opportunities for some players. Brewers did the same. Pretty much the same boat.
Chisenhall into center field. That's going to fall a base hit. 1 run will score. Throw goes all the way through, and Chisenhall will go to second base.
And missed the cutoff man. I think Peterson was trying to hit the cutoff man, but airmailed Adam Lynn. Not a whole lot going right now for Willie Peralta and the Brew Crew. You got to hit that cutoff man. There's no way you're going to have a play at home plate anyway. You hit the cutoff man, and you keep Chisenhall at first base.
So second and third, RBI single for Chisenhall. He stays hot. Brewers down 2-1, just like that. 3 hits and a walk already. And Peralta's just getting his day started. The only out was a bunt that almost went for a hit by Lindor.
Yeah, just getting too much of the plate and not much sink on that big power 2-seamer. Same issue we had against the Marlins this last time. Now, you have 9 hits in 5 innings, 6 runs, but got to win.
That'll bring up Yan Gomes now with runners at second and third. Counsell's going to bring his infield in here in the first inning. Brewers are in a bad window of starting pitching right now. They've gone to that 4-man rotation, and Counsell's having a tough time getting a starter through 5 innings at this point. Even Peralta's last start, which resulted in a victory, was a short start. He lasted just 5 innings through 95 pitches in those 5 innings and gave up 6 earned runs. The Brewers scored a bunch of runs that day. They beat the Marlins 8-7. Command problems for Willie Peralta.
Yeah, longest start on the road trip so far. Jimmy Nelson 5 1/3. And that was a win against the Nationals.
Yeah, that was back on Friday. It's 3-0 to Gomes. I beg your pardon, they called that a strike. 2-1. Infield in. And that one's on the ground. Segura makes a nice play. He's got it out right in front of him. Makes a throw to first. And out at first for the second out.
He's looking at third base to see if he's going to be able to get an out over there. He was thinking Santana might stray off the bag a little bit too much. Chisenhall was right next to him when Segura finally was able to grab that baseball. You see Chisenhall. But he gets the out at first base. As long as you get an out, right?
Yeah, as long as you get an out and the runner at third doesn't try to advance.
Right. And not sure what Chisenhall's doing, but he got away with it.
So 2 men are out. No harm done. You'd certainly rather have first and third than second and third. As Almonte lashes away at the first pitch. Good catch up there in the stands. Brought a glove, ready to play. Well done, sir. Got that nice crease in the glove.
Yeah.
Yeah, making a kid happy. That's good points. Very good points. And another one right over there.
Same guy?
No, a little out of his reach. The first one was a beautiful catch in his creased glove. Oh, yeah.
Well done.
That's a possible oblique injury, but it's a great play.
Oblique. Yep.
Certain things you can't pull, though. High fastball to Almonte. Abraham Almonte. Don't see many Abrahams anymore.
No.
There's a swing and a miss. Down he goes on strikes. You could say Peralta kept him honest. Inning is over. Indians get 2. 3 hits and a walk. Had a nice little rally, though, to get out of that inning. But the Indians have the lead 2-1. We go to the 2nd inning. And Scooter Gennett will lead off. Brewers get a run in the 1st on a Lucroy homer. A run on 2 hits. Well, we talked about Gennett to start our broadcast today. Scooter has been swinging the bat well. Post All-Star break numbers, pushing near 300 for a batting average. And Sunday, Gennett against Jordan Zimmerman sent one out. The deep ball in the pitcher's ballpark. Home run number 6 for Scooter Gennett. No doubt about that one.
Yeah, hit the ball a number of times right on the nose. Got a base hit in the 1st. A home run came in the 5th. And lined out in the 9th. He's starting to swing the bat like he did last year. I think maybe putting a little bit too much pressure on himself early in the season. He was given the opportunity to face left-handers. That didn't work all that well. It was a good curveball by Tomlin to get him.
First out of the inning, first strikeout for Tomlin.
Number 16, the right fielder, Domingo Santana.
Not quite sure if the left-hander experiment with Scooter Gennett is quite over yet, but you know, at this point they're just going to have him face right-handers. He always hit left-handers pretty well in the minor leagues.
Big swing by Domingo Santana.
Which, you know, your good left-handers aren't in the minor leagues very long.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and you know, Gennett's been in a platoon the last 2 seasons with Ricky Weeks, and so when you're in a platoon, you're facing pitchers, mostly in Gennett's case, right-handed pitchers, mostly pitchers that you can handle. You're getting the matchup every night, and so the batting average was high as Santana out to right field, getting turned around as Chisenhall. That ball's gone. Oh my goodness. Domingo Santana with a flick of the wrist sends one into the bleachers. Ties this one up at 2. What power he has.
And he was jammed on that. I mean, he didn't really get much extension on that. Check out the point of contact for Domingo Santana. I'm telling you what, this is one strong young man. Look at this. I mean, didn't really get the bat head out and still able to knock it out of here. Well, he's something else. He has been impressive. 2 home runs and a double since his call up.
In 10 at bats, 2 home runs and a double. Now 3 runs batted in. Boy, he is so happy to be in Milwaukee. That was a very crowded outfield with the Houston Astros. And Santana in that Gomez Fiers trade. By the way, Mike Fiers was the American League Pitcher of the Week this past week. But Santana comes here and the door's open for him. Playing time's available. And he is thriving early.
And no doubt about his ability to hit. He has hit everywhere he's been. Still young.
Craig Counsell talking about his minor league season. The fact that he's earned his way to the big leagues, even though he didn't spend most of his season in the minor leagues with the Brewers. It was with the Astros. Segura strikes out for the 2nd out of the inning and a couple of Ks in this inning.
Number 3.
You get an opportunity and look what he's been able to do with it. I mean, it's early yet, but pretty impressive so far. Home run to left, that line drive that he hit. That thing was about 20 feet off the ground the whole way out in Washington. Then he hits one to the opposite field. So a home run to right and left and a double to center.
Here's Elian Herrera batting 9th tonight. Got the designated hitter in play in the American League Park. Braun is the DH tonight. A couple of solo homers here for the Brewers. Lucroy and Santana. And they're having a chat. What'd you hit your home run on, Jonathan? Well, my home run was a spinning slider.
Yeah,
how about yours, Domingo?
Fastball at about 88.
And
I didn't even hit it all that well, Jonathan. Did you hit yours well?
Yeah, did you get yours? Or because I kind of got jammed a little bit. You always want to have your home run conversation around the hitting coach. Darnell Coles, and Braun's coming over for a little home run love himself. He's not welcome though. He's not hit a home run yet, so keep walking.
And Darnell doesn't have time to waller in the glory. He's got a guy to keep an eye on at the plate.
Full count to Herrera. Slaps one foul. Elian made a beautiful play on a barehand pickup in the first inning. Lindor trying to bunt his way on. Full count. And another foul. That'll be in the seats. Leon's been swinging the bat well lately. 5 hits in his last 4. A lot of playing time for him recently. And as long as he keeps hitting, he'll keep finding his name in the batting order.
Against right-handers, he's been playing third. Against left-handers, he's playing second. The benefits of being a switch hitter that can play anywhere.
Another 3-2, and he goes this time. Herrera couldn't fight that one off, and 3 strikeouts in the second inning for Tomlin. But there was a home run. Domingo Santana goes opposite field, and this game is all tied at 2. Bottom of the second coming up. Well, the Brewers had an off day yesterday and decided to rent a bus and head down to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. And sending out a thank you to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Did a great job. They hosted you guys royally. Took you down into the really cool stuff.
The archives, some of the documents that they have, some of the old equipment. Broke it all out for us. Had lunch. What a great time. Great setup in Canton, Ohio. It's about an hour from here, an hour from Cleveland. Thanks to Dan Luray, our director of team travel, setting all that up. It's a good way to spend an off day in Cleveland, you know.
No doubt. Go to the Rock and Roll Museum here in Cleveland. You got the Pro Football Hall of Fame there in Canton. Giovanni Urshela leads off, and a grounder out to Segura. Throws on the run. Lynn can't make the play. Boy, the Brewers are sloppy tonight.
And that's one that Lynn's got to be able to handle. I mean, the footwork, you got to move around the bag a little bit, grab it and get the out. I mean, the throw wasn't perfect, but certainly one that a major league first baseman's got to be able to handle. I mean, that's just a clank by Lynn. It should be an error on him.
Trying to make a catch and a tag. The throw did take him off the bag. And they'll give that error to Segura. Brewers have missed a cutoff man already. That allowed a runner to advance. Peralta's not pitching well out of the gates. Trying to get his night turned around quickly here. And the Brewers are just coming out a little lackluster.
Not helping him out. I mean, yeah, certainly that wasn't a perfect throw, but Lynn should have had it. That should not be an error on Segura.
Ramirez shows bunt, takes a ball.
I tell you, Willie Peralta's velocity is really down tonight. He's 91, 93 miles an hour. He's usually up in the mid 90s.
He does not look like himself. Even his body language, his demeanor on the bench before the game and between the first and second innings. He just doesn't look like he's right tonight.
You see the fastball right there, 91 miles an hour. That's just not Willie Peralta. Maybe it's the weather. Who knows? But he's usually a lot higher than that, 95, 96.
Jose Ramirez takes a strike outside corner. 3 balls and a strike. Peralta did retire the last 2 hitters of the first inning with runners at second and third to avoid further damage in a 2-run first. RBIs from Santana and Chisenhall. And there's a ground ball to second. Kicked, literally kicked. And everybody's going to be safe.
That should have been a double play. Well, first of all, there shouldn't have been a man at first. And after that ground ball, should have been a double play. Craig Counsell might want to take a look at it. Did Segura have his foot on the bag before Urshela got there?
Close.
Pretty close. He first stepped on Jeanette's foot, I think, but that should be another error. That one is going to be on Jeanette.
Counsell will let his replay folks take a look at this underneath. And they want to take a look. They want to challenge.
We're going to take a look at Willie. I don't blame him. There's something going on with Willie Peralta tonight.
Okay.
He doesn't look like himself.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, his velocity way down. It was in the first inning. I noticed that in the first inning, but maybe I'm thinking he wasn't loose. But second inning, he's just 90, 91 miles an hour. I mean, he's missing about 5-6 miles an hour on his fastball.
Well, whatever athletic trainer Dan Wright and Craig Counsell asked him, he was quickly to respond that he's okay. And so no challenge here. No challenge for Counsell. 2 on to start the inning on 2 errors. Each middle infielder getting an error. Now Peralta will face Jason Kipnis. 2 on, nobody out. Yeah, Willie missing badly. But the velocity's up, but he's missing badly, coming out of his mechanics. So you could tell just something's not quite there with Peralta. And I think you noticed it as well. The bench certainly did. Yeah, I mean, he's trying to throw a little harder, but normally Peralta is going to sit 95, 96 mile an hour range. I mean, that's like his cruising speed.
And effortless. I mean, basically really not trying hard. He's got that kind of delivery.
2-1. Kipnis in the left field, slicing. That is a fair ball. One hopper off the wall. One run is in. That's Urshela. And another double for Jason Kipnis. This time an RBI double. And it's 3-2 Cleveland. More impressive how Kipnis is able to keep that ball fair.
Yeah, watch the way he just flips that bat out there, lets the ball travel. And it looked like the ball was going to slice foul, but goes straight down the line and fair by about 4 feet. An RBI for Kipnis and another double. 34 doubles now for him on the year.
Nobody out. A run is in. Second and third. All kind of trouble for Peralta in this game. The first inning was by his hand. This inning should have had 2 outs with nobody on. Instead, 2 errors. And now he's got to bear down facing Lindor. Michael Brantley due next. Only 4 batters has Peralta gotten ahead with a first pitch strike. They're missing badly on Lindor.
Yeah, when you're throwing 91, 92 miles an hour, that's a big deal. When he's throwing 97, you can get behind hitters and still get outs. His slider at 76.
He may say he's all right, but he's not himself. I don't know what he is, but he's certainly not himself here tonight. 1 ball, 1 strike. And that one's into left field, a base hit. Another run will score. That's an RBI single for Lindor. And Craig Counsell might have an early decision to make here, or else the Brewers are going to be too far out of this thing.
And nobody getting loose in that bullpen. Just now somebody jumping up to start getting loose. But 93 on the fastball here, and Lindor able to bang it hard into left field. Another run in, and it's now first and third with nobody out. And not only is he not throwing very hard, but he's getting a lot of the plate as Kyle Lowe starts getting loose.
Unfortunately, the Brewers' long relievers, Loesch being one of them, have been getting a lot of work, too much work here lately. Loesch got a 3-inning save his last time out on Friday. Michael Brantley with runners at first and third and nobody out. Indians have 2 runs in, 2 errors to start the inning. Segura and Jeanette. They're trying to throw a changeup in there. This is going to be a short night for Peralta. Hopefully he can settle in here and go a few more innings. Already a high pitch count. And a ground ball gloved by Lynn. Steps on the bag. Now coming home. And running into an out is Kipnis, or at least into a rundown. And Peralta puts the tag on him.
Good job by Adam Lynn that time. He gets the ground ball. He touches first. There's your out there. Then he gets the double play. And Brewers a little bit too long in the rundown. They allowed Lindor to get to third base, but they did get Kipnis in the rundown.
Kipnis started to go. Peralta looked him back
and stopped. And for whatever reason, he went toward home plate again. 2-5 to 1. 3-2 to 5-1.
Now Lind looked him back. And so 2 away. Here's Carlos Santana. Santana with a double and an RBI in the first inning. That was just a base running mistake by Kipnis.
Not sure why he stopped and went to home plate once he knew that Adam Lynn was standing right on the bag with the baseball.
Especially
an easy out.
With nobody out, you stay at third, There's one out, runner at third base. So the Brewers fortunate there. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Carlos Santana.
You know, first and third in that situation. I mean, Kipnis did the right thing. You're supposed to take off the home plate to avoid the double play, but what he didn't really take into consideration was that Lynn was already at first. He got the out there and did not have to go.
Brad Mills, bench coach, having a chat with him. One of those situations that doesn't come up that often. Just talking Kipnis through it. Mills and Francona were together in Boston. And Mills ended up as the manager of the Houston Astros before returning next to Francona here in Cleveland. Two and two the count. Peralta trying to get through this second inning. 2 runs are in. And the count will go full. Pitch number 6 looked like it was in the strike zone.
Yep.
And a 3-2 in the air, center field, playable. Peterson puts it away. Inning is over. 2 errors to start the inning. Peralta giving up 2 unearned runs for 2 Indians.
Responsible for any risk or injuries that may occur.
Trying to keep morale up. Willie does not have much to talk about right now. It's been a struggle for him. Don't forget, we got baseball coming up Saturday. Doubleheader of baseball on Fox Sports 1. You got the Red Sox and the Mets. 2:30 is airtime on that one. First man up is Shane Peterson, deep into center field. Almonte will run it down. Long fly ball for an out for Shane Peterson. Out number 1 for Josh Tomlin.
I think Almonte is going to be a pretty good player. And play very deep. He goes back. Kind of remind a little bit of Kenny Lofton, the way he goes back on a baseball.
That's fitting here in Cleveland.
Right.
What a great player he was. Kenny Lofton. There's Lucroy now with 1 away.
Good leadoff hitter. He had a good on-base percentage. Could steal bases. Terrific in the outfield. Those guys could hit back in those days. That whole lineup. And Omar Vizquel at short, putting on a show every night.
Carlos Baerga.
Yeah.
And a young Manny Ramirez. For his days in Boston, what a hitter he was. Boy, just saw Manny Ramirez the other day.
Working out, wasn't he, at Wrigley?
Yeah, he's with the Cubs. He's
looks like he's working out to get ready to play.
He's part of their staff.
He's looking for a comeback.
And he might. That might be a nice little bat to have for a postseason run. No, Ramirez, who was always one of Francona's favorites in Boston, he's working with the Cubs. Theo Epstein, president of the Cubs, and those Red Sox ties. And they say Manny Ramirez is a great addition to their coaching staff. He's really helping a lot of the young hitters in Chicago. Never know with great hitters how good they're going to be teaching hitting. Hard to teach something that you were so great at, right? It all makes sense.
Yeah, it comes easy to you. Not that it didn't work. I mean, you talk to coaches that were around Manny Ramirez, said he was one of the hardest workers in the game, but it looked so effortless for him during the game because of that. Not many could do what he did.
Lucroy in a 3-2 count, and he lines one right to third, and Urshela makes a play. Hit it hard, nothing to show for it. 2 outs in the inning.
Another line drive out for Lucroy. We've seen that all year. Hit this one right on the button. Nice play by Urshela going over toward the hole.
Here's Ryan Braun now with 2 away. It's always legendary stories about Ted Williams when he was managing, trying to teach hitting, and he'd be so frustrated that guys couldn't, perform the way he thought. You just take that outside slider and that inside fastball, you just turn on.
Yeah, just like that. That's how to explain it, right? What do you mean? What do you mean?
No
how
problem.
do you hit an inside pitch? Just turn on it.
Just take it. If it's a ball, just take it. Braun hoists one high in the air to left. And Bradley will put it away to end the inning. That's a first tonight. 3 up, 3 down. Peralta is going back out and see if he can get it turned around. Brought to you by Marshfield Clinic. Don't just live, shine. By Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. And by Hupy and Abraham. 800-800-5678. Hupy and Abraham. Tell them you mean business. Peralta back to work. We start the bottom of the third inning. Lonnie Chisenhall leads off for Cleveland. Chisenhall, Gomes, and Abraham Almonte against Willie, who needs a quick inning here. It has been a struggle to get his day started. Peralta giving up 2 earned runs in the first inning on 3 hits and a walk, and then 2 unearned runs in the second. That's how the Brewers line up defensively. You got Segura and Jeanette with errors tonight. Braun is the designated hitter, which gives Domingo Santana a start in right field, where he's most comfortable, and he has homered tonight. Chisenhall pops this one up. Foul territory. That's going to stay playable. And Herrera is there to make the play. 1 away to start the third inning for Peralta.
Well, he's going to have to make some adjustments tonight. He's not going to be able to rely on that big fastball, that mid-90s fastball. Start working the corners, keeping the baseball down a little bit.
One gone for Yan Gomes, who bounced to short his last time up. Gomes grounded out with 2 on base, second and third. This actually could be a lot worse. This score, 4 runs have scored, but there's been a base running mistake by the Indians, Jason Kipnis. And then Gomes and Almonte both made outs with runners at second and third in the first inning.
Already for the Indians, 8 at bats with runners in scoring position.
Wow.
And 4 for 8
in the first 2 innings. Well, some good games going on around the big leagues tonight. We're watching the Astros and the Yankees. Houston has a 5-0 lead over the Yankees. Game's in the top of the 4th inning. Battle of 2 first place teams there in the American League. Could be a postseason matchup. Texas and Toronto just underway in Arlington. That'll be one to cover tonight. Blue Jays and the Rangers occupy the 2 wild card spots. Starting play tonight. Orioles, Royals. Kansas City running away with the Central Division in the AL. Baltimore is trying to hang in that wild card race. They're certainly in it. Interesting matchup in Phoenix tonight. You got the St. Louis Cardinals in town to face La Russa's Diamondbacks. As there is a base hit by Gomes. A 1-out single to right. All of a sudden, Arizona has fought their way into the wild card picture. They're just 5 games out of the wild card race.
Yeah, they're back at 500.
Diamondbacks.
They still have a lot of room to make up. 10.5 games.
Yeah, and Arizona just 5.5 back in the division race, trailing the Los Angeles Dodgers, who are in Cincinnati tonight. Dodgers have a 3-0 lead, 4th inning. So a lot of good games going on, a lot of postseason implications. Teams trying to get ready for the stretch run in September.
And the Reds have lost 9 of 10.
And now 52-71 are the Cincinnati Reds. The Brewers are out of the cellar after their win on Friday night. They've been able to get out of last place for the first time this season. Almonte in the air to left. Easy enough for Davis. There is out number 2.
Hey, reminder that Miller Park on Friday nights are student nights. This Friday, the Brewers host the Reds, and high school and college students can purchase $10 reserved tickets or $15 Lowe's bleacher tickets, plus enjoy a special $3 pregame menu for tickets. Visit brewers.com/students. $10 reserved terrace tickets or $15 Lowe's bleacher tickets.
Perfect. Made perfect sense.
Better said.
2 men out for Shella.
Must be the weather.
The change of seasons all of a sudden. Up and in. Peralta missing. I've heard pitchers talk about, a dead arm phase. And I don't know if Peralta is dealing with that right now, but it is a bit shocking to see the velocity as it is. As Lynn cannot quite reach that one. You just don't see pitchers go from 96 miles an hour to 91 from start to start.
And he's topped out tonight at 93.
I felt like all of his 92, 93 mile an hour fastballs, or at least the ones when you were pointing it out, they were all with way more effort than normal, and he's coming out of his mechanics on those particular pitches right after the meeting to the mound.
Yeah, well, that last fastball at 90. That's usually a changeup for Willie Peralta.
Giovanni Urshela with 2 outs and a runner at first. When you see Peralta fall off like that, when he kind of stumbles toward the first base side of the mound, that usually gives you an idea that he's not in his mechanics. He normally doesn't do it to that extent.
Overthrowing.
All the pieces aren't lined up for him. Kyle Loesch continues to get loose.
Well, he's got to be ready by now. He was ready last inning.
I feel like Peralta might be a hitter away from being done tonight. If he does not retire Urshela, Counsell might make the move. It's 4-2. Indians scoring in the first 2 innings. Brewers have solo home runs tonight from Lucroy and Santana. Domingo Santana. And a big swing and a miss. Urshela chased a breaking ball.
And Lucroy tried to hold on to the foul tip, couldn't. It's all right, Luke. You can't practice those. Either catch them or you don't.
No skill involved in a foul tip, right?
No.
Now the runner will be off with the pitch. Combs takes off and the pitch is low, ball 4.
And that's probably going to be it. I mean, really called his body language, everything that's going on. And here comes Craig Counsell. Going to be a very short start again for the Brewers. Longest start on this road trip has been 5 1/3. Jimmy Nelson on Friday.
Just been a grind for him. And back to the bullpen goes Counsell early. He'll take the ball from Peralta. Loesch is coming in. We'll set him up when we continue. brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. And by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. Well, it was a struggle tonight for Willie Peralta. His good buddy Martin Maldonado there to try to console him. He has not pitched well since coming back from the disabled list. He's had a couple of moments here or there, but generally not the same pitcher we saw last year.
Yeah, last two starts very tough for Willie Peralta. As Kyle Lopes continues here in the third inning. This is his 6th appearance out of the bullpen. Picked up a save on Friday night. He picked up the last 3 innings in that win for the Brewers in Washington. Gave up a run in 3 innings of work on 1 hit. It was a home run.
Well, Loesch coming on as the Brewers stretched the lead and ended up finishing this game. Our Columbia St. Mary's worth another look. That was Friday night in relief of Jimmy Nelson.
The changeup is back for Kyle. He looked really good, but that changeup is last couple of times out.
And he starts Ramirez with a changeup.
Pitch that was tough for him to get a feel for as a starter this year.
Two on, 2 out. And a strike to the second baseman, a switch hitter, Jose Ramirez.
We might not seen the last of Kyle Lopes in the starting rotation this year. You know, you got Cravey on the DL, and who knows what's going on with Willie Peralta. We'll see.
Right now the Brewers are in a 4-man rotation with all of the off days. Got another off day on Thursday. Just had one yesterday. Well, without the off days, the Brewers would not be able to survive this many short starts. You'd probably have to go to the minor leagues and bring up a pitcher. There's a shot. Jeanette stays in front of it and makes the play to end the inning. That one looked like it hurt him a little bit, right on the wrist. Heck of a play by Scooter Jeanette. Cleveland, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and Museum. Not too far from us here at Progressive Field, downtown Cleveland. Here's Adam Lind. He'll lead off. Lind, Davis, and Jeanette. The Brewers down 4-2. Lind's on the Powerball home run leaderboard with 17. He's second on the club. He's got Chris Davis right on his heels now. Davis has hit 9 in the month of August. Lind on the first pitch. Out to Almonte. And that is now 6 in a row retired by Josh Tomlin.
You know, started when Tomlin started to throw a pretty good curveball. Curveball was a good pitch for him in that second inning, right after Santana hit the home run, got Segura and Herrera on curveballs. All of a sudden, the Brewers have to be thinking about that pitch.
Chris Davis with one away. That little bouncer back to the mound his last time up. And Davis down the left field line, foul. Got ahead of a breaking ball. Chris is making a serious run at Player of the Month in the month of August in the National League. Well, wouldn't that be a story after spending all that time on the disabled list? Couldn't find playing time when he came back. Gerardo Parra was swinging the bat so well and playing so well. Wasn't until Parra got traded at the end of July that playing time opened back up for Chris Davis. And he's made the most of it.
That's the kind of player he is. He's not a guy that you can use once or twice a week.
Davis into right field. Long run for Chisenhall. That's foul.
A lot of young power hitters are like that. I mean, tough to find that groove, get that confidence when you don't have that everyday playing time.
See the Carsouv.com trivia. Chris Davis, 9 home runs this month, who holds the Brewers record for home runs in 1 August of play. And Davis fooled on this one. Pop up foul grounds. That will end up on top of the dugout. Tomlin's got him down. A ball and 2 strikes. And he got him to chase one. A strikeout. Tomlin has found it. That's his 4th strikeout now. All coming since the second inning. And he's retired 7 straight at this point.
And that's exactly where Gomes wanted it. He put it right there and just not able to hold up.
Two up, 2 down. Here's Scooter Gennett. Gennett, a strikeout victim his last time up. He was the first strikeout for Tomlin. Shoulder surgeries are tricky. That's not a guarantee that you can come back. And Tomlin in his 3rd start since returning, and he's got another 3 up, 3 down inning. 8 in a row. 11 out of 12 retired for Tomlin.
This Sunday afternoon, when the Brewers wrap up their weekend set against the Reds, we'll get an old-fashioned vintage Brewers bobblehead, courtesy of Sendik's Food Markets. Go to Brewers.com to reserve your spot today. The Nodder.
The Nodder is. I'm excited about that promotion Sunday. Make sure you save me one. Kyle Lohse back to work in relief of Willie Peralta. Let's see if Lohse can go a few innings here. And Lohse would love to go 4 or 5, you would think. He's certainly still stretched out as a starter and just went 3 innings his last time out.
And had 3 days off.
I'm sure Lohse, just knowing him, is thinking, I'm going to finish this game. Brewers are going to score some runs. I'm going to finish this game and get a win. He's been desperate to have better success on the mound. It's been a real struggle for him. But Rock, you mentioned the finger injury. The middle finger on his knuckle, he said, was really sore, and it felt like it wasn't a ligament strain, but there was something going on where he couldn't get a grip of his changeup. And without his changeup, he's already walking the fine line. He doesn't have the overpowering fastball. Without the changeup, you're just asking for it. That was a good changeup right there.
And what you mean without the changeup? The changeup was the same velocity, still throwing it, but it was up around mid thigh, up around the belt. But when he's got a good feel for it, it's down around the knees and below, just like that last pitch.
3 balls, 2 strikes on Kipnis. He rolls over one. Kipnis is 2 for 2 with a couple of doubles. Drove in a run his last time up. Been a tough out all year for opposing pitchers.
One of the toughest guys in the big leagues to strike out.
Indians have 2 of those guys, Kipnis and Michael Brantley. Kipnis made the All-Star team for the 2nd time in his career this season. Had some injuries he dealt with last year and only hit .240, but he's back in a big way. This is his best year of his career, and he draws the walk on base for the 3rd time. It's a leadoff walk. Boy, the Indians have had a ton of base runners in this game. That is their 11th base runner. They've had 19 batters at the plate in this game. 11 of them have reached base. Kipnis for the 3rd time. Lindor at the plate now. Now with Kipnis stepping into the prime of his career at age 28, Lindor is the future at the shortstop position, and they love their combo, their keystone combination. Lindor at short, Kipnis at second.
And 63 games now for Lindor. He's hitting .300.
He's just 21 years of age, out of Puerto Rico. Got a great feel for the game. Began the year in AAA Columbus, and he hit well there. He's one of the younger players in AAA even. Hit .284 at AAA Columbus in the International League. And showed a little bit of power too. He had 11 doubles and had 5 triples, so he threw some slugging percentage there, more so than I think the Indians thought at such a young age, at such a high level. So much so they felt like he was ready to play in the big leagues. There's a called strike 3. Lohse rings the bell, and down goes Lindor. And it is the first strikeout for Lohse, first out of the 4th inning.
Able to catch that bottom of the strike zone, just barely catching the edge right below the knees. And you see Lindor tried to sell it to Tim Timmons to no avail.
First out of the inning. Here's Michael Brantley now with Kipnis at first. And a cue shot right off the end of the bat. Brantley, his last time up, had that ground ball to first. It turned into a double play. It was a bad base running move by Kipnis. And a little bit of hesitation cost him. 2 runs were already in that inning with nobody out. Could have been a whole lot worse for Peralta, but that play helped Willie get through the inning. Peralta gives up 4 runs, 2 earned in 2 2/3. Certainly wasn't his night tonight. I'll be very curious to hear what the Brewers have to say about Peralta. Telly Hughes will be in the clubhouse for Brewers Live post game, and we'll hear from Craig Counsell. There was at one point Counsell and Rick Kranitz, or rather Counsell and the athletic trainer Dan Wright, made a trip to the mound mid-inning to talk to Peralta to find out if he was okay.
Right away, Willie said he's okay. I'm all right. Let me continue, but there was something going on with him. Yeah, last 2 times out, it just has not been the Willie Peralta that you remember. The start before the one against the Marlins against Philadelphia, 7 shutout innings. Since that time, it's been a big struggle.
Loesch working in relief once again. And Brantley fouls it away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Michael Brantley is the American League leader in doubles coming into play. 38 doubles this year for Brantley. Kipnis has 2 tonight, gives him 34. Pretty impressive combination in Kipnis and Brantley. You figure if they put a few pieces around him, this offense could be formidable.
Well, they thought they had, the pieces to start the season. Nick Swisher, Michael Bourne, Brandon Moss, all gone, traded away.
Swisher and Bourne to the Braves. Moss went to the Cardinals. Moss had a big year last year for the A's and never really got going this season for the Indians. Had some home runs, but a low batting average. You got Kipnis leading the league in average. You got Brantley checks in 4th in the league in batting average. 2 guys driving this offense. They are 1-3 in on base percentage. Kipnis leading in that category in the American League. On base close to a 400 clip is Jason Kipnis.
Yeah. Yep, and Brantley at almost 390.
Yeah, Brantley 387 coming in. He's had a walk tonight. Walk and a run scored. 2-2 the count. Brantley in the air, right field. That's well hit. Santana at the wall, and it is gone. A home run from Michael Brantley. 2-run home run. The Indians add to their lead. It's now 6-2.
Well, he just kept fouling off one pitch after another and fouled off some tough pitches that Loesch thought he might be able to get some outs, and then finally got one he liked and knocked it out of here. Well, up in the strike zone, a fastball down the middle around the belt.
And the home run ball continues to bite Kyle Loesch. 1 out, 2 runs are in. Here's Santana.
When you think about the runs that have scored for the Indians, they've got 6 of them. 4 of the runs have come 2 on walks and 2 on errors. So certainly not helping themselves, neither defense or pitching.
That's in there for strike 2. Carlos Santana doubled and drove in a run back in the first inning. And a beautiful changeup swung on and missed. Strikeout for Loesch. His second out of the inning, both on strikes.
Hey, tonight's Tavern of the Game winner, Laurie's Coach Tavern. If they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours, they get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a Brewers home game in 2016 in April or May. Finally, we got that changed. April or May of 2016. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Way to stay on it, partner. Making things happening. Closes out of the inning, but the Indians get 2 more on a Bradley homer.
The top of the 6th inning. Different
In a community. Brewers Community Foundation encourages fans to drop off items or make a donation of $5 to one of their upcoming drives for charity. These items and donations are then distributed to nonprofit organizations in areas where they are desperately needed. Plus, as a thank you, fans who donate will receive a Milwaukee Brewers player collection pin. Upcoming drives for charity include August 28th through the 30th, school supplies September 18th through the 20th. Hats, scarves, and mittens are also encouraged. Guys?
Tell you might need all those things tonight.
It's getting a little cold down here.
It's hard to believe, right? We're at the end of August and it's a little bit of precipitation falling. Nothing that is going to threaten the game right now, but yeah, it's a cool night in Cleveland. Josh Tomlin back to work. Santana splinters his bat with a bouncer to second base. And Domingo is retired. Josh Tomlin has got it going right now. He gave up a home run to Santana, an opposite field homer in the second inning. That's the last base runner the Brewers have had.
And the only real issue he's had since coming back has been giving up home runs. He's given up 5 home runs in now 3 starts. He was really good his last time out against the Yankees. 7 innings, 2 hits, one of them a home run. But that was it. 1 run against the Yanks.
That lone run against the Yankees is Segura lines one to left, but right at Brantley. Hit it hard. 2 outs for Tomlin. And he's been on the streamlined version of himself in the last 2 innings, and he's got a 4-pitch inning going here with 2 outs already. That lone run he gave up against the Yankees last time out was a home run by Alex Rodriguez, and that came in the 4th inning, and then he shut him down the rest of the way. Everything went wrong for the Indians right after they left Milwaukee. They split that series with the Brewers, and it looked like they were going to be able to make a run. They were just waiting on a run on an 8-2 or a 6-game winning streak or something that would get them back over 500, get them in the race. They actually got it to 42 and 44, and then they came home and they lost all 6 games on a homestand in late July, and that pretty much gave the signal to the front office that it's time to start making some moves, try to acquire some prospects, and clear the way for some young players like Almonte and Lindor. That's a called strike 3. Herrera, he is rung up. And Josh Tomlin, another 3-up, 3-down inning. That's 11 straight. And he's given a baseball away. Well done, son. He's got it. He's got himself one already.
Yeah, how many you need, right? You only need one.
Sharing is caring, Rock. By the way, our friends at T-Mobile give you a chance to send us a tweet, and we may use it on the air. Just use the hashtag WisDataStrongFan. Send us your strongest fan photo. Kyle Loesch back to work here for the Brew Crew. It is now 6-2 Indians after a 2-run home run by Michael Brantley last inning. Loesch in relief of Willie Peralta gave up the first 4 runs in this game. 2 of them earned. Jeanette and Segura with errors in the second inning, leading to those 2 runs. Yan Gomes is 1 out of 2 tonight for the Tribe.
Craig Counsell does have one advantage, being in Cleveland tonight. Doesn't have to worry about taking out Kyle Loesch because he needs offense. You got the DH here. You can keep Loesch out there as long as you want. Makes it a little bit easier to get through a game when you don't have to worry about that.
They're talking to Counsell before the game about his memories here at Progressive Field, and formerly known as Jacobs Field, and he said it was the coldest he had ever been in his life. And he's from Wisconsin.
Right.
Coldest he'd ever been in his life was right here in Cleveland. Game 3 of the 1997 World Series. They took batting practice in the snow. There's a liner to right that'll slice foul. Of course, that was the World Series that made Craig Counsell famous. It was the World Series where he scored the winning run in Game 7 on that base hit by Renteria, and had the sacrifice fly that tied the game. Indians won the pennant that year, but couldn't beat the Marlins in the World Series. Segura makes a nice play For out number 1, Gomes is retired.
Well, they had some killer offense in Cleveland there for a long stretch. Just couldn't get the pitching to go with it. Yeah, the starting pitching very inconsistent, but boy, could they score some runs. Talk about a wrecking crew lineup. He was in it.
Yeah, Sandy Alomar Jr.
Catcher.
First ball swinging. Almonte deep into left center field. That is off the top of the wall. And it takes a big bounce. And Almonte, who can really run, will stand up at third base with a triple.
That's a pretty good stroke right there. Taking that one to the opposite field. Not very tall, but boy, he's put together and puts a charge into this one. Out over the plate. Nice short stroke. And rips it off the top of that wall out in left center. Didn't miss a home run by much. Peterson got a little bit too close, and Almonte in with an easy triple. Picking him up and setting him down.
Triple number 3 for Almonte. His first hit of the night. One away, runner at third for Giovanni Urshela. That was a thrilling World Series, though. Went 7 games. That 1997 World Series between the Indians and the Marlins. The first 2 games, Council was telling us, the first 2 games were in Miami, and it was hot. Temperatures were in the 90s, and they were drawing huge crowds. They were playing in the football stadium back then. They were drawing nearly 70,000 fans for a World Series game. And the energy and the heat and the electricity of those first 2 games, as Loesch picks up his 3rd strikeout. And then they come to Cleveland and it's snowing. And an off day on a Monday, and then Tuesday was game 3. And so you would imagine, right, that there'd be a day when it's snowing and it'd be a low scoring pitchers duel, right? That game was 14-11. Marlins won that game.
If you can't get warmed up being in the World Series, there's something wrong, right? April game, maybe. Freezing out there and not much motivation, but not in the World Series.
Hard to believe that was 18 seasons ago, 1997. Jim Leland's Florida Marlins back then. Council had gotten traded that year from the Rockies to the Marlins.
What were you doing then?
I was in the Texas League, minor league baseball, 1997. That was I want to say that was a John Shelby season. That was T-Bone.
Was he there?
He was the manager of that team I was with, 1997.
Louis Tiant with you?
He was. That was Louis Tiant was a pitching coach. Louis Tiant. There's T-Bone. Now the assistant hitting coach for the Brewers. He was a minor league manager in the Dodgers system.
That's a no-no right there for Kyle Loesch. Walking Ramirez, a number 9 hitter, to get to Kipnis. Not often you make a transition from the World Series to the Texas League.
T-Bone did that. 88 World Series. He's with the Dodgers. He's a good man right there. He and Darnell Cole's done a nice job with the hitters. Keep it positive. And they've got a lot of young hitters to deal with. And I was talking to Shelby about the position changes, because he knows, obviously being an outfielder as he was, it puts a lot of stress on a player to make a position change like Shane Peterson and Domingo Santana. Can add to the pressure you're feeling at the plate. They've tried to alleviate that as best they can.
Well, most of the time, your position is kind of second nature. You don't have to think too much about it. When you're making a position change, that's kind of dominates your thoughts throughout the game. Hey, you're on the bench when you're normally thinking about your at-bats.
Kipnis lines one to right. Another base hit for him. That's his third of the night and has another RBI. What a hitting machine this guy is. Man, on base for the 4th time. We're only in the 5th inning. He makes it 7-2 with an RBI single.
He picked on a breaking pitch and went down and got it. That wasn't a bad pitch by Lowe. But a good pitch, a base hit by a very good hitter who's having a terrific season.
He's the batting average leader in the American League. Indians see their overall numbers with runners in scoring position, but getting a ton of opportunities tonight. Already 11. This will be the 12th at bat. And a shot past Lynn, base hit for Lindor. Another run's coming home. Ramirez. Kipnis will stop at third. It's an RBI double. Now the throw gets away, and here comes Kipnis. And Herrera makes a tag at third to get Lindor for an out. That will end the inning, but the run does score. And so 3 runs are in for Cleveland. Oh, it's a mess tonight. Keeping them off the scoreboard tonight. Just 1 inning where they have not scored in a play that ended the inning. Rock.
I'm not exactly sure where Scooter Gennett is going. I mean, Adam Lind goes down and Gennett's over by the line. The throw should have gone into second base, but Adam Lind didn't make much of an effort to get it. A run scores, and Elian Herrera able to bail out the Brewers after 3 runs are in by making a nice tag on Lindor to end the inning. I'm not sure where Lind and Scooter Gennett, where they were going, what they were supposed to be doing, but they seem to be out of position.
And put yourself in the perspective of the outfielder in that situation. Domingo Santana, he fields the ball off the wall. He turns around and there's wide open space between first and second. He has no idea where the runners are or where to throw the ball.
Right. Well, nobody in the cutoff spot, really. I mean, nowhere for Santana to throw the baseball. It's going to be an error on somebody. It's probably going to be on Santana out in right field to allow that run to score.
Will be a double and 2 RBIs for Lindor.
No error?
No error. Runner advanced. There was an out on the advancement of the runner because they got the out on the play. There was no error. Feeling the run would have scored anyway, I'm assuming.
Had that ball been caught in the infield, that run wouldn't have scored.
I agree with you on that.
But that's not the official score, and it really doesn't matter. But I'm not sure what was going on the right side of the infield. But neither Lynn nor Gennett were where they were supposed to be.
Peterson rolls over one to second base. Ramirez makes the play. This is turning into a breeze for Josh Tomlin. 12 straight hitters he's retired. The Brewers do not have a hit or a base runner since the second inning when Santana hit a home run to right.
The hardest hit ball since that second inning was that Lucroy line out in the third.
That's on our Wendy's at the plate.
Not much else going on. Segura lined out to left in the fifth, but a lot of ground balls and strikeouts.
Well, Tomlin, as you mentioned, he's been bitten by the home run ball since coming back, but he also has kept hitters off balance and off the bases for the most part. Opponent batting average is tumbling down there to about 150. Lucroy down the line. That'll go for extras. Maybe Lucroy's going to try it. The throw in from Brantley, and Lucroy is in there with a hustle double. Brantley played that beautifully off the wall.
Yeah, a little bit too close, down by 7 runs. Brantley in his home ballpark, he knows that wall and made a pretty good throw into second base. A little bit off the mark, but Lucroy in with a double. He's swung the bat well all 3 times so far tonight. Lined out in the third inning, but this time lines went over the head of Urshela and down the line and left. Pretty good effort by Michael Brantley, a little off line.
Yeah, if the throw's on the mark, he's got an out. You saw him shaking his head out there. So that'll be a double for Lucroy. Has a home run and a double tonight. Double number 15. Set a major league record for doubles by a catcher last year. I'll give Braun an at bat here with 1 away. He's 1 out of 2. He singled in the first inning. So Tomlin goes 12 in a row between hits. Lucroy and Braun have back-to-back hits in the first inning. And those are the 4 hits allowed by Josh Tomlin tonight. Santana's homer, Lucroy's homer, and double, and Braun's single. A good breaking ball there. Curveball from Tomlin.
He's had a good one tonight.
Straight down it goes.
First at bat for the Brewers with a man at second base tonight.
Yeah, and in stark contrast, the Indians have had 12 of them. 6 for 12 with 9 runs on the board on 10 hits. See the left-hander just arriving to the Brewers, Cesar Jimenez. And Braun into right field, hit pretty well, got some carry to it, and this ball is up and out of here. Ryan Braun with a 2-run home run. 23rd of the year for Braun, and a young Brewers fan comes away with a ball. That a boy. So it is 9-5 Milwaukee. Check that, 9-4 Milwaukee.
And Ryan Braun using the wind tonight to his benefit. He got one up in that breeze out there in right field, and it carried out of here. I think Ryan even thought that was a home run. He hit it pretty well. He hit it on the sweet spot, but got under it, and it just carried out of here. I think Chisenhall thought he had a play on it until the very end. 3rd home run for the Brewers.
Slight breeze blowing out that way. So Braun, 23rd homer, 75 runs batted in now. Quick visit to the mound. Mickey Callaway, the Indians pitching coach. Braun 2 out of 3 tonight. So back-to-back hits again for Lucroy and Braun, same as in the first inning. And here's Adam Lind. This is just a 2-game series here in Cleveland. The Brewers play tomorrow night here at Progressive Field, and then an off day Thursday, returning back to Miller Park. On Friday night, got the Reds coming to town Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We're starting to get to the end of August now, and I think everybody's starting to wonder how active the Brewers will be in the September call-up category. How many players we're going to see here from the minor leagues. I don't think the Brewers will be calling up many. They usually don't when they're not in a pennant race. As Lynn chased that curveball, down he goes on strikes.
He might call up a catcher, get that third catcher, although Martin Maldonado is trying to find some playing time. He very rarely, if ever, plays, but usually you call up a third catcher. Maybe some pitchers. The Brewers right now have the guys they want to take a look at. And they're already here.
Most of the players the Brewers got in the trades, most of the prospects are at the AA level and probably not quite ready to come to the big leagues yet. At least not this season. You might see a number of those guys in spring training. I would imagine that would be the case. But you know, Biloxi, the AA team's having a great year. You don't want to break up that team as they go into the playoffs. Zach Davies might be a guy you would see in the big leagues. He is in AAA, came to the Brewers from the Orioles in that Para deal. Upper level pitcher. We'll see. I'm sure council will be having those discussions with Doug Melvin and company. The GM search continues for the Brewers. Still very early in the process, and I wouldn't imagine there'd be much news on that front until after the season. I think a number of candidates will be surfacing from teams that are contending or in the postseason. And so then you're going to wait on that.
And typically you can't talk to those people until their seasons are over. Not always, but most of the time.
So that's going to be big news as we finish the regular season. A lot of changes for the Brewers, not just on-field personnel, but front office personnel, how the new general manager will structure his front office. You know, Craig Counsell is going to be there. That was established early by Mark Atanasio, the Brewers owner. Whoever the new GM will be, Craig Counsell will be the manager, and those two will have to connect. I'm sure Counsell, I'm not saying he's going to be involved in the decision making, but it would certainly help a prospective GM if he had a relationship with him. Big swing and a miss by Davis, and the inning is over. 7 strikeouts for Josh Tomlin, but the Brewers get a little something here. Lucroy with a double down the left field line. Next man up, Ryan Braun. Opposite field home run, number 23 of the season. And it's 9-4 Cleveland. activity. Got 3 home runs tonight. Luke Croy-Braun and Domingo Santana. Say you can vote for your MVP and help us decide which Fox Sports Supports partner will be crowned the winner. The charity with the most votes at the end of the Brewers season will score big with a donation from Huppy and Abraham. Choose from American Heart Association of Wisconsin, Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater Milwaukee, or Fisher House, Wisconsin. To vote, visit foxsportswisconsin.com/supports. We love all 3 of those outfits there. They do great work.
Yeah, hard to pick between them, right?
All right, Rocky, got Cesar Jimenez on the mound for the Brewers. Claimed him from the Phillies, and he gets his second chance on the bump for Milwaukee.
Yeah, 5th appearance. The first 4, 3 of them came with the Phillies. Very limited opportunities with the Phillies, but the one appearance was a good one against the Nationals on Saturday. Tossed an inning and 2/3 scoreless, gave up a couple of hits, but a couple of strikeouts. Yeah, prior to this year, made 78 appearances in the big leagues. 3 of those starts, with Seattle and Philly.
First ball swinging, Michael Brantley. And the hits keep coming for the Indians. Brantley with his second hit, 3rd trip on base. It's a leadoff single.
11 hits now for the Indians. 5+ innings.
Los goes 2 1/3 in relief of Peralta. Gives up 4 hits, 5 runs, all earned. Here's Carlos Santana. It's kind of cool. We have 2 Santanas and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame not too far from here. There's a lot of symmetry there.
Either one of them played the guitar?
I don't think so. But I'm not sure. I haven't asked.
We don't know.
Haven't seen anybody travel with a guitar. The Indians version of Carlos Santana. Had a double and an RBI in the first inning. You ever been over to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
I have.
That's a good time.
Many years ago. Back when the Brewers were still in the American League. I would imagine it's changed a little bit. Added some names.
There it is. Right on the waterfront, Lake Erie. They have a really cool new exhibit, a Paul Simon exhibit over there right now. Jimenez in a 2-2 count. Switch hitter Santana, and a swing and a miss. Down he goes on strikes. Well, as promised earlier in the game, Rock, I know you've been waiting for this. We have selected the Data Strong fan photo of the game. Remember to use that hashtag #WisDataStrongFan. And this was our strongest fan photo of the night. Natalie.
Up there in the uke seat.
Excellent composition on the selfie there, Natalie. Well done. It's all brought to you by T-Mobile. There's a swing and a miss. Chisenhall. Brewers need somebody to settle this game down. A lot of offense for the Indians. 9 runs on 11 hits for a team that doesn't hit much as a group. Outside of Brantley and Kipnis.
Yeah, they're swinging it tonight. Spent the rough day in Chicago, but lost to the Cubs. A walk-off yesterday from Chris Bryant. A long road trip the Indians were just on.
Four-city road trip. The 3-city road trips are the long ones, but they had to add in that Cubs game yesterday.
In Minnesota, Boston, New York, and then Chicago for a day. A makeup game yesterday.
It was a thriller. Chris Bryant walked him off. Cubs win again. Cubs aren't going away, I don't think. They got too much pitching, and their young hitters are still performing well. Cubs have won 5 straight. There's a swing and a miss. Chisenhall strikes out. Well, that's what you like to see if you're Craig Counsell, a left-hander facing a left-handed hitter and getting him to chase made him look bad.
You got Santana too right before that. Here's that slider. Fastball tops out at about 89, maybe 90 when he's really good and loose. Throw a changeup once in a while to a right-handed batter, not overpowering, but so far it looked pretty good for the Brewers.
Here's Gomes. Runner goes. Lucroy's throw to second, and safe is Bradley. Bradley stacking up the stolen base numbers. Swipe second, and with 2 outs, he's in scoring position.
He and Kipnis will run. With that stolen base now, the Indians have had a man in scoring position in every inning.
Two men out, runner at second. Cesar Jimenez trying to make it a clean inning. Haven't had many tonight. Either way, Indians have only been held scoreless once. That was the 3rd inning. It was the inning the Brewers made a pitching change from Peralta to Loesch. Down the right field line, Santana makes the catch. Runs it down. Good speed to make the play down the line to end the inning. And a scoreless frame for the Indians. For Indians, first game of this 2-game series, a little brief interleague matchup. And the Indians will make a pitching change here. They've got a comfortable lead, a starter who is coming back from shoulder surgery. And so Terry Francona will bring on Ryan Webb. And in relief of Josh Tomlin, who pitched well in this game. Did give up 3 home run balls, but certainly pitched to the score in this one through 6 innings.
Well, 32nd appearance for Webb and a 240 earned run average. You can see he's done pretty well against left-handed hitters. I mean, only 194 opponent batting average as opposed to right-handers hitting at about a 260 clip. 10 walks, 27 strikeouts for Ryan Webb. They only have one left-hander in their bullpen, Kyle Crockett. So a right-hand dominant bullpen for Terry Francona.
Josh Tomlin goes 6 innings, 4 earned runs. The Brewers with 5 hits, but 3 of those hits are home runs. Producing all 4 of the runs that are on the board. Lucroy's solo shot, Santana solo shot in the second, Domingo, and then Braun's 2-run homer last inning. Jeanette is 0 for 2 tonight. Strikeout and a ground out. Big Ryan Webb. He looks twice as big as Scooter Jeanette standing on top of that mound. Scooter's shown a little pop here lately, though. Had a home run on Sunday. His 6th of the year. He's a guy that'll give you 10 to 12 homers a season if he plays every day. And he rolls one to second. Ramirez makes a play for the first out. So 1 away for Domingo Santana, who has impressed again. First at bat of the night tonight. Check this out, a flick of the wrist. Goodbye. Shining moment of the game, courtesy of Marshfield Clinic.
And didn't even get really good extension. That ball got in on him a little bit, and still able to get enough of it. Big, strong Domingo Santana.
His 2nd home run as a Brewer this year.
He doesn't get cheated up there, does he?
He made a nice running catch to end the last inning. He made a really strong throw in Washington. It didn't produce an out, but he threw one from the wall in center field. So starting to get to see all the tools that make Santana one of the top prospects in the Astros organization, and then the Brewers system after the trade.
Hit 380 down in the minor leagues for the Brewers and got called up. All of a sudden Ryan Webb doesn't look so big now, does he?
Yeah, Santana's a big kid.
The Webb 6'6".
Santana 6'5". Rolls over one. Slow roller. Urshela makes the play. Santana thrown out by half a step. Nice play over there at third base by Giovanni Urshela.
Yeah, they like him defensively over third base. He's still trying to figure it out at the plate, but he's got good skills. He's got good range, a good quick throwing arm, and makes a nice transition and a good throw off balance.
Here's Segura. Got some first pitch swings here tonight and takes this one for a strike. Segura hit one hard his last time up. That one's right back to the mound. And this will be a 1-2-3 inning for Ryan Webb. 3 ground ball outs for the sinker baller. Cleveland. Well, the good news, the Brewers have hit the long ball tonight. Started with Lucroy in the first inning, and then Santana with an opposite field home run. That came in the second. That was also a solo shot. And then in the sixth, Ryan Braun goes oppo. 2-run home run for Braun, his 23rd of the season. The bad news, though, the Indians have 9 runs on the board, and a 2-run home run there by Michael Brantley in the 4th inning. And then a 3-run inning against Loesch in the 5th. AT&T Ubers Rewind. It is 9-4 Cleveland. And they've out-hit the Brewers 11-5. 2 errors for the Brewers that led to a couple of runs. Has not been a pretty night outside of those 3 home runs tonight.
Yeah, 2 errors and a number of misplays out there. Certainly haven't helped.
Almonte tripled his last time up. Jimenez gets him out in front, and this will be Herrera and Jeanette. Jeanette makes a catch. Almost a collision there in the middle of the diamond. It'll be an F4 on Almonte for the first out. That could have been real bad for either one of these guys.
Yeah, Scooter's calling it and Herrera's calling it. As long as somebody catches it and nobody gets hurt.
Cesar Jimenez has retired 4 straight in relief of Loesch. Peralta started, gave up 4 runs, 2 earned, and 2 2/3. Loesch gave up 5 earned runs and 2 1/3. Not a good night on the mound for the Brewers tonight. Phillies took Jimenez off the roster, and the Brewers claimed him, looking for a left-hander. They were able to trade Neil Kotz to the Minnesota Twins. Jimenez has done a good job in his brief time here. Low throw, dug out by Lind, no problem. 2 outs.
Yeah, save some money. You trade off Neil Kotz, you save about $600 grand. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it is. Hey, make sure you're at Miller Park for the final free shirt Friday of the year. This Friday at 7 o'clock, the Brew Crew battles the Reds. All fans in attendance get a free Retro Brewers t-shirt courtesy of Arise Health Plan. Great seats are still available at brewers.com/tickets.
Seen a lot of Brewers fans here tonight in Cleveland.
Bunch of them walking around last night downtown Cleveland.
It's a good walking town, downtown Cleveland, with all of the sports venues. You got the Q right next door, Quicken Loans Arena, where the Cavs play. LeBron James home.
Walk along the Cuyahoga River.
Did you walk along the Cuyahoga River today?
Yesterday. A little bit yesterday.
Right back to the mound. Jimenez will flip it on to Lynn for the out. And a good strong effort by Jimenez. 2 scoreless on the board for him. out of the Brewer bullpen. And, the Brewers were looking for somebody to settle things down. Miller Lite, what's on tap? Tomorrow night, Jimmy Nelson, Cody Anderson, who will be in for Carlos Carrasco. He's got some tightness in his shoulder. He's been scratched from the start, so Anderson will get his second start against the Brewers this season. Matching up against Nelson, who won his last time out against the Nationals. His 10th win of the year. Miller Lite, what's on tap? Will hit the air at 5:30 from Brewers Live. There's Cody Anderson.
Get some velocity tomorrow night.
Elian Herrera against Ryan Webb. Webb with 3 ground ball outs. His last time up. And that one's lined into center field. A base hit for Herrera. After a couple of strikeouts, Herrera comes up with his first hit of the night. A leadoff single in the 8th.
Hey, this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the Brewers take on Todd Frazier and the NL Central rival Reds. Reserve your spot at Miller Park. Call 902-4000 to go to brewers.com/tickets.
Tonight the Reds are hosting the Dodgers. That game's in the top of the 8th inning. Dodgers lead at 5-1 in the 8th. It has been a struggle for the Dodgers. A little ground ball that is fair, and a throw to first. The tag is in time. Man, what a play. Urshela across the diamond, off balance to Santana.
Oh, good play on both ends.
Immediately Jerry Naron, the bench coach, goes to the phone to see if the call was correct. This was something.
This is barely fair, but it is fair. Look at his throw from Urshela. Looks like he's safe. He never touched him.
Called out on the field by first base umpire Tim Welke. And
no, I guess not. Maybe he did touch him. Great Counsel's not going to challenge it or not ask for a review. Looked like on the replay we just saw, he didn't touch him. Let's see. Does he touch him? Does he get him right there on the? Did he get him? Did he get him?
Got him with the wrist, the back of the wrist.
Okay. He got him as he went by?
Yeah.
Then he tried to swipe tag him on the back and missed him.
That was the angle that made the difference.
What a play! Good play on both ends.
That was a great play.
And you see why they like Urshela over there at third base.
Herrera does advance to second. RBI chance here for Lucroy, who has 2 hits tonight, including that home run in the first. That Astros-Yankees game is in the bottom of the 7th now. Houston leads 15-0. Carlos Gomez has 4 runs batted in. It's his best night as an Astro. He's homered. He's also almost incited a brawl. Comes as no surprise.
Some theatrics by Carlos, perhaps.
After a double. He got a double and a homer tonight. So the Astros keep pouring it on, and all that offense for Houston tonight. And their best pitcher, Dallas Keuchel, has a shutout, a 3-hitter through 7 innings. Giants Cubs going to be a fun one to watch. That series begins tonight. Jake Arrieta against Matt Cain. They'll be underway in about 30 minutes.
Not too many better this year than Arrieta. I mean, he's been impressive.
He's having a Cy Young type season.
Yeah,
he and DeGrom.
He's been unhittable a lot this year. 15-6 and a .230 earned run average.
Who's the ace of the Cubs?
Yeah,
I'd have to go with Arrieta right now.
Arrieta or Lester, right?
Both clubs with relievers getting loose. Shaw and Smith. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Lucroy. In the air, left field. Lucroy will watch another one fly. Long home run for Jonathan Lucroy. And it is now 9-6. Lucroy with his second home run. Both of his homers have come on 2 strike pitches.
And both of them coming on breaking balls. I think that was a breaking pitch. And Lucroy almost identical to his first. They just stayed up down the middle of the plate, and Lucroy puts a good swing on it. He's hit the ball hard every time up tonight. The only out that he's made was a line out to third. And another home run for Luke, almost same spot.
His third home run in his last 8 at-bats. So it has turned into a ball game again here in Cleveland. The Brewers with 2 runs into the 8th. Webb is out. Pitching change for Cleveland. Three out of 4 with 2 homers and a double. Had a line drive out in the 3rd inning. And he has made this a 3-run game for the Brewers, down just 3. First 2 homer games since July of last season for Jonathan Lucroy. And he's got 3 home runs in his last 2 games. Still just 1 out in the 8th inning. Ryan Braun is coming up. Lucroy with his 6th career multi-homer game. And that forces Francona to his bullpen.
No, this is where the Indians bullpen has been very good in winning scenarios. 55 appearances now for Shaw. That leads the Indians bullpen in a .256 earned run average. And you see the opponent batting average very good. Last pitch against the Yankees a couple of days ago and tossed a scoreless inning.
Indians had a 9-2 lead. It's now 9-6. And the Brewers with 4 home runs. Braun hit 1, a 2-run shot in the 6th inning. And he's 2 out of 3 tonight.
Yeah, Brian Shaw, no stranger to a lot of appearances. He led the American League in appearances last year with 80. 70 the year before. He gets a lot of work.
Herky jerky delivery. Lots of knees and elbows. Always fidgeting on the mound. There's a breaking ball lined in the left. And Bradley is right there. He was battling the lights. And made the catch for the out. Braun hit that right on the button. Another line drive out. So the 2nd out of the inning.
Now stepping in for the Brewers, First baseman, Adam.
Just right on the nose, and Brantley, as you mentioned, trying to get an angle on it, but able to grab it, kind of backhanded a little bit, and saying, glad I caught that one. That was a tough catch. That was a hanging slider, and Brawny hit it right on the nose.
Here's Adam Lind. Well, it looked like Shaw was coming in anyway. I'm sure Francona would rather that he pitched the 9th inning. And when the Brewers got the home run from Lucroy, that now puts the Indians into their close and late situation as Lynn dribbles one out. The shortstop Lindor on that side of the infield makes the play, and the inning is over. So the Brewers get a 2-run home run from Jonathan Lucroy. He's having a night tonight. 3 hits, 2 homers, and a double. And he's driven in 3, and he makes it a 3-run deficit. Walk their way back a little bit in this one. And our Carsuit.com trivia tonight, Chris Davis is in it. He's got 9 home runs this month. Who holds the Brewers record for home runs in 1 August? That would be Big Spike.
Big Spike Thomas.
Gorman Thomas had 12 in August of '79. You had 9 in August of '84.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. That's what they say. I don't remember.
Yes, you do. Big month for Bill Schroeder, 1984. Kid from New Jersey.
Yep. Look at him now.
Here's the kid from Atlanta on the mound. Left-hander Will Smith.
Yeah, speaking of racking up the appearances, 59 appearances now for Will, and a 6-2 record. Last pitched on Wednesday against the Marlins. This is his first appearance on the road trip. He tossed a scoreless inning that included a couple of strikeouts. Has not allowed a run in his last 9 appearances.
So Smith trying to keep the Indians right there at 9. And give yourself a chance in the 9th inning, down 3 runs.
Not exactly the league you want to be in, the American League, if you're a bench player.
Not much playing time.
Not much. Neither team has gone to the bench.
Big night for Kipnis. 3 hits and a walk. 3 runs scored. He has driven in runs in the 2nd and the 5th inning. Has 2 RBIs tonight. 2 doubles, a walk, and a single for Jason Kipnis, who now takes over as the American League's leading hitter.
He raised his batting average 5 points tonight.
He was tied with Prince Fielder for the batting title lead to start play today. Texas has a 5-4 lead in the 7th inning. over the Toronto Blue Jays. Fielder is 0 for 3, however. And a swing and a miss. Full count to Kipnis. Looks like the Nationals got their offense back together. We saw that the last 2 days in D.C. They're up big on the Padres, 8-3 in the 8th inning. I think that team might be poised for a run. There's a called strike 3. Smith finally retires Jason Kipnis, first time all night. Well, Fox Sports Wisconsin is proud to partner with Girls on the Run Greater Milwaukee, a group to empower girls to be healthy and confident. You can join us for the Girls on the Run Fall 5K on Sunday, November 15th. That's at Bayshore Town Center in Glendale. To register, visit foxsportswisconsin.com. Click on the upcoming events tab. Here's Lindor, the switch hitter. He's had 3 runs batted in tonight. 2 hits. 2 for 3. Had a sac bunt. Herrera made a great play on him on that bunt back in the first inning. And he lines one past Herrera. His 3rd hit of the game. Lindor pushing his batting average over 300. Indians love this young shortstop. 21 years of age and does not look phased by his time in the big leagues.
No, yeah, very confident he can run. He's got 3 hits tonight.
Now hitting .306.
Pretty good seat in that lineup, though, if you think about it, between Kipnis and Brantley.
Brantley with a 2-run home run that came in the 4th inning. And he's got another one. Brantley, another 2-run homer on the first pitch from Smith. What a hitter. Brantley with his 10th and 11th home runs of the season tonight. That's his 3rd hit. And any thought the Brewers had about coming back in this one, Brantley just did some serious damage to that notion.
Yeah, full extension on a hanging breaking pitch. Knocked it out of here. Will Smith continues to struggle against lefties. Coming in at lefties, hitting him at a 260 clip. He's been much better against right-handed batters this year. Right-handers hitting only 143. Go figure.
Facing the switch hitter, batting right-handed, Carlos Santana. 11 runs on 13 Indians hits. Indians lost a 2-1 game yesterday at Wrigley. Santana bouncer over to third base. And there's out number 2. Indians have not scored in double digits since the first week of August. They scored 17 runs in a win over the Minnesota Twins earlier this month. You don't see many double digit run totals, however, for Cleveland. They have struggled, generally speaking, as an offense this year. Here's Jerry Sands pinch hitting. Hitting for Chisenhall. Now Michael Brantley with his 3rd career 2-homer game. First time he's had a multi-homer game in 2 seasons. Last time was his 2013 year.
Yeah, we talked about the Cleveland Indians and Kipnis and Brantley on the pregame show today. 6 hits and a walk between the 2 of them.
Yeah, so if the game plan is to not let those guys hurt you, the Brewers didn't execute the game plan tonight. Sands into center field. And that will retire the side. Michael Brantley, the former Brewer. He's having a night tonight. 2 homers. Only pinch hitter who got a game-winning hit in the history of baseball that actually got booed.
Yeah, with Paul Mahler on deck and looking for number 40 in a row.
Rick Manning.
What a great guy, though. You know, a great teammate, fun-loving guy, but you get in between the lines out there in the field, all business. Good player.
Working with Matt Underwood.
The other thing he had to do, he had the unenviable task of taking over for Gorman Thomas in center field.
It's true, right? Good point.
Yeah.
There's Cody Allen rocked, so it is a 5-run Indians lead now after that 2-run homer by Michael Brantley. But their closer, he was already hot, ready to come into the game, so Francona is going to let it ride.
Yeah, he's going to keep him out there, and he's 26 out of 29. A 1-4 record for Allen, a hard thrower.
Facing Chris Davis, first pitch breaking ball is low.
And last pitch a couple of days ago against the Yankees. Actually threw an inning and a third. Picked up a save.
And the Indians do have Thursday off, just like the Brewers, so you don't mind rolling them out there tonight. Give them some game activity. And even if you have to pitch them tomorrow, you have Thursday as an off day. Right off the mask of Tim Timmons back there.
He's seen a few pitches tonight.
11-6. The Brewers got it within 3 at 9-6 with that home run off the bat of Lucroy in the 8th inning. But then Brantley answers. Indians have 13 hits tonight. Peralta, Loesch both struggled. Cesar Jimenez had a good night, though. He was the lone bright spot in that Brewers pitching line. Went 2 scoreless tonight. Retired 6 in a row to finish his evening. Gave up just 1 hit. And Davis down on strikes.
He's got that curve ball. He throws a fastball in the mid-90s, and he's got the curve ball to go with it. Tough night at the plate for Chris Davis. There's that bender and with 2 strikes down and away.
That's a nasty breaking ball right there. That's hard, late break. You look at the Indians and you look at their pitching staff, and it feels like their pitching staff is playoff ready. They've got a good closer, good setup man. Their starting rotation has done a good job this year. They've got Corey Kluber, the Cy Young Award winner, as their ace. He pitched yesterday. So they're close to having all the pieces put together. They were a popular pick in spring training. We saw a little bit of them in Arizona this spring. They train in Goodyear in the Cactus League. Another hook in there for a strike. White Sox, Indians, very optimistic. The Twins are still in the playoff race, and they were certainly optimistic. And then, of course, the Royals, who won the American League pennant last year. They've been the best team in the American League. So those four teams in the AL Central thought to be all contenders at some point. Second strikeout for Allen. Back-to-back Ks. 2 outs. Brewers down to their last hitter. Domingo Santana, last hope for the Brewers, has homered tonight. 1 for 3. Making his third start, and that's a strike. Brewers will send Jimmy Nelson to the mound tomorrow, trying to break a losing streak that is an out away from going to 3 straight. Two balls and a strike on Santana. Big cut at it. He was trying to hit the drummer up there.
John Adams.
He's still pounding away after all these years, isn't he?
Yeah, he was actually doing that in the old ballpark, Municipal Stadium. For 40 years he's been doing it.
2-2 with 2 outs, and right down the middle, a called strike 3 to end the game. Allen strikes out the side to finish it. Indians win the opener. Brantley with a big night at the plate. 2 2-run home runs, 3 hits. Kipnis had a big night as well. And the Indians roll over the Brewers this evening. 11-6 the final score. Josh Tomlin, his second win. He beats Willie Peralta tonight. Peralta drops to 4-8. Jeff Grayson is ready to roll. Brewers Live coming your way. Let's send it to Jeff in our Fox Sports Wisconsin studio. Jeff?